Hello.
Happy Friday.
Happy
Hello.
Friday. People. We've got the lovely Moore and two of my favorite people in the whole wide world, CDT and ATS, Ember Truth Seeker. You got me all tongue-tied. Oh.
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
Oh my gosh, thank you guys for coming.
She almost went to say Amber Tea Seeker. I heard her.
Hello to chat.
She's seeking the tea. Oh my gosh, look at you guys in chat already. Look at all of you. I can't even say hi to everybody here. Hi, Karen, Jesse, C-Dub, Anna, Texas Angel, Delana, Alex, Denise, Brittany, LFT and Tia, Pointer Lover, Justice
Hi,
J.
everyone.
Yeah, there's tons of you. Princess Megan. My goodness. Hi, Hiders. Thank you guys for coming. BR the Star. Hi, Donna. If I missed you guys, I'm really sorry, but thank you guys all for coming in here. Allison.
C-Dub.
Cindy. C-Dub. Mallory. Rainbow Mom. Pandora's Box. Sharp like tack. Shortcake. Maria. Sandy. Nikki. Look at all you guys. Mom first, always. I love it. That's why I was late, because I was trying to mom and feed my children dinner, and
Do the mom thing.
the restaurants don't want to cooperate with my time schedule.
Stupid restaurants. Oh, Britt,
You tried to tell me earlier that my channel was thriving, and I was like, don't you dare say that word.
Don't say no.
Don't you say that.
I think
See,
Kelly.
Yeah, she's so
Just
quiet, though.
can never
I'm like
say
too
the word
loud.
thriving to you for the rest of your life. Nobody.
Yeah, thriving. I'm never going to thrive. Alex. Mama Michelle. Pogsy. Linda, of course, you can ask a question.
Yes, she did.
Kelly, you're going to have to, like, yell at me, because you know I'm loud.
Oh, you're
Hi,
fine.
Chloe Jo.
I'm actually trying to. I'm gonna come out and come back in through my iPad because my phone's
Okay.
being weird. So give me 1 second. I'll be back.
All right, you sound perfect now, too.
Yeah, I was just about to say she's louder now.
Hi, Tracy.
Lana.
Chloe Jo.
Mallory, I will get you soon, babe. I will get you soon. I didn't
What'd you
forget
do?
you. I have a
Hit
little
the like.
present.
If you guys haven't hit the like, give us a little like while we wait for CDT to pop back in.
Show us some love.
You guys, don't forget I dropped CDT and ATS News channels in there. Go sub if you're not. I believe most of you are, but if not.
Hello,
Hi,
Seth.
Seth.
It's good to see you, Seth. Hope you're doing well.
Delaney.
Renee. Say my name. Say my name.
Tia.
Hi, Tiffany. Delaney. All right, check it out, because you don't have an avatar on this one. Are you good with that? Kelly Kells?
You're sure it's Kelly,
Can
right?
you-
I'm just kidding.
Right? It would be that night. It would be that night.
It would be that night.
Why not?
Blind Furry says they left their girlfriend to be here, so they hope it's good. I don't know. No promises.
Right.
Hi, my Delana. I love you.
No guarantees.
Yeah, no guarantees.
I literally almost had like flashbacks. Like, oh my gosh, is it Kelly?
You know, my first bomb was on Kelly's channel. It was the first time it ever happened.
It's never happened yet. Like, I need to. Well, no, I'm not going to even say that.
I don't really open the panel, though.
You want it for Christmas? I'm sure Santa can make that happen.
Roxanne.
I need one. Roxanne.
Oh my gosh. All right. I'm glad we got some laughter out because we got some serious discussions to go on.
Yeah.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. But you have to kind of keep it light. So, okay, so this is your question. So Linda's question is, I saw you in Cher's chat. I'm sorry, but I don't back up or agree with what Cher is saying at all. Please explain to me why you back her up, because I really like you. Well, I will be very honest. I do not base how I feel about people based on how they view a case. I would say when I started in true crime, I did, and I made a lot of enemies that weren't even necessarily meant to be enemies, and I made a lot of friends that weren't really friends because we agreed on a case. All of a sudden, we were like aligned, or we disagreed on a case, and now we were like all of a sudden fighting. And as I've gone through, I've just realized I don't base my opinion on people on YouTube on how they feel about one case. And what I've realized by doing that is I've been able to maintain a lot of friendships for a long time, regardless of what case we cover and regardless if we agree or don't agree, because we can kind of bounce that off of each other and see like how you feel about it versus how I feel about it and why we feel that way. And you get to know the person. I say this a lot on YouTube, but you guys see like one dimension of us. You see this one person who's like sitting on a screen in front of you, and we're telling you our opinions about a case. And then we're like, we like this person because we agree with what they said about this case. But the next case comes up, and if you don't agree with me now, like, do you hate me? Because I view things differently, because we all view the cases based on our own lives, based on our own information. And for me, like, I've known Cher a really long time, and I know that, like, she rubs some people the wrong way. I know I rub people the wrong way, but I know that Cher always comes from a place of absolute compassion, even whether it's the right side or the wrong side viewed by YouTube. I know that she's trying to figure out the truth always. And if it comes to the point that she realizes or sees that things are not, what she thinks they are, she'll be the first to call herself out on it. And I've learned that because I wasn't judgmental about how she felt about a case. So I don't really take people's opinions about about a case, like especially a specific case, and make that my entire opinion around them. Because the next case, we could absolutely agree, and now we're like best friends. And that's what you see on YouTube, is the inner fighting constantly over who's right and who's wrong. But who's to judge that? I mean, you guys judge based on you guys coming in and viewing the stream. But on the next one, who's to judge that I'm the right one and she's the wrong one, or whatever? So I just try to look at people as the layers that I think people are, versus this one image that you guys see on a screen. So
Right.
you'll never see me like fighting with somebody over a case. I just don't do it.
We cover too many. We're in the true crime community. That's what we do. We discuss cases, and we have different theories, opinions. We're different human beings at the end of the day, even though a lot of us have the same hearts in a sense, but we have different thoughts. We have different opinions, and we're going to share that differently with different people all the time. It's like it's almost like a roller coaster with this. And sometimes we band together on a case, and sometimes we're together on a case, even with separate opinions. It's how this true crime world kind of goes.
Well, like, here's a thing, like ATS and CDT, they have a whole different theory on what happened with Watts than I had. But they don't hold my opinion against me, and I don't hold their opinion against them at all. And now, like, I think every case that's ever happened since, we're like on the same, we think the same. So like, I would have lost two really good people in my life if I was pissed off at them for what they thought about the case. And it's just not worth it.
I think that's the enjoyable part for me when I'm talking true crime. I like hearing everybody's different, theories, opinions, insights, even perspectives. Like that's what I enjoy doing. That's what we do. We ping pong off of each other, and we try to
challenge me.
Right, facts and clues to the table that maybe I didn't think of, that you were resting on, things that Teresa was sitting on for a few days, something that maybe I said that triggered one of you guys to even think of something. Like that's just kind of. We discuss these cases, and they get deep, and we talk about this line all the time, and that line is just going to be different for everybody. And it goes the same for relationships with other creators.
And there's been times where other channels have befriended people in the cases that we've been suspicious of, and they had a whole angle about it, like they befriended them to get information, and it was valuable information that they put out on their channel with interviews, etc. And it's like, okay, well, if they hadn't become friends or buddy with this person in this case, we never would have heard them slip up when they said this, or why did they end up getting comfortable with them and they felt comfortable enough to say that. And it's like, okay, well, sometimes there's like a method behind everyone's madness. And I know that Cher has a method behind her madness, like we all do, I feel.
Yes,
It's true.
totally agree.
Hi, AB. And Linda, of course, you guys can ask me whatever you want. I can only tell you how I feel, and whether you are okay with my answers, completely up to you. That's all I can really do. But that's kind of how. If I disagree to the point that I get frustrated, I just stop listening. It's happened multiple times. Doesn't make me feel any differently about the creator. That's kind of where I'm at. And there are creators that I'm not like huge fans of, but I try to, and I'm not going to name any names, but I try to even listen to like their broadcasts to get why they think that, so that I can think about the other side of things. And I say, like, every story has an antagonist and a protagonist, and every case is going to also have that. And if those two sides constantly fight with each other, we end up in a situation where now the creators are doing lives about each other and hating each other versus caring about anything to do with the people that are actually have to do with the case, the victims.
They get
And
lost.
I don't want to fall into that trap. Okay, let's see. See, a lot of people call out Bullhorn Betty, but they ain't stopping her. They get so angry. What a waste of their precious time and energy. So, and I've actually talked about Bullhorn Betty, and I think it was my members only live this last week. And I would not do what they do, but do I watch what they do? Sometimes I do. And they have an entire community of people who support what they're doing, and they like that they're going out there, and they like that they're getting answers, and they have a community of people that believe, causing rift or riffraff or chaos is going to get these people off their, is going to knock them off their toes or whatever and get them to mess up. Are they wrong? I don't know.
What if
are they right? I don't know.
I mean, it looks terrible that Leilani and her mother were out there drinking. What if the protesters drove them to that? Now we have circumstantial evidence in a way where it's like, why are you out there? I mean, they did that to Casey Anthony, did they not? Did they not present her partying out there after her baby was dead,
Mm-hmm.
It was one of the biggest.
I mean, who knows? Yeah. We can't say that it was the protesters or which YouTuber that did push them to go out drinking, but it is interesting that, all this is going down. Were they like, you know what, we just got to get out of here? Are they cracking on some level? I can't say that it's not helping, but I can't say it, it's hurting. I don't know. I'm the same way as you. It's not anything I would do, but I don't see anything like I wouldn't like lose sleep over it. You know what I mean?
And I definitely take the information if it's something valid there or confirmed on site there, and I catch it as I'm watching it. I absolutely add it to my notes, and I absolutely do.
Right, and see, and like Allie's saying, Alex Erickson in chat saying, like, there's a huge difference between true crime and drama and conspiracy, but the lines get crossed, and I think that's true everywhere. So there's channels that do a lot of digging and like to get like into the nitty gritty of things. There's channels that like to just cover like the news articles and give you the broad, scope of what a case is. There's channels that like to talk about the case and how it involves the other players on YouTube. And it's really about finding like what you like and who you like to watch and kind of just go in that route, I guess. I mean, I really don't. I just don't. I try not to judge them because I feel like everybody who's doing it, whether it's what I do or what they choose to do, they're doing it because they want answers. So they're not. I don't feel like people are doing these things maliciously. And if they do them maliciously, is kind of where my line is, where I'm like, okay, I don't want anything to do with you because I do think you're just being an asshole to be an asshole. Yeah, and AB, that family has been cracked for a while, so I think that's a good point.
Do they realize that they're cracked? That's a problem.
Do they realize they're cracked?
I do agree, though. Yeah. But yeah, ultimately they're just as long as they're not breaking any laws, you know, and it seems like they know like where their rights are, and there's other people out there, not just these YouTubers too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's another thing that you have to think of is like the first few days it was Dolly and Bullhorn Betty, but like people in the community started to come out and join. And those last couple live streams, the people in the community were way louder. And, and Betty was the one like, hey, don't be disrespecting law enforcement. Like, you need to chill. Like she has her line too. I do. I think she's very passionate, but that doesn't mean that I think that I would go out and do it. But I can tell you right now, I would, if I lived right there, I would go look. Now people are going to say that's wrong. You
I
shouldn't
would
do
look
that.
too.
But I would. But there's going to
Yeah.
be people who are like, that's crossing the line and you need to leave the family alone. And I'd be like, that's your line. That's not my line. So
Right. If it's a baby and it's close by and I can fight for it and be a voice, I'm going. And I will not be disrespectful. I will keep it as peaceful as I possibly can. But I'm going.
right. And I think Missy says it the best in chat. She's always like, all opinions are always welcome, because I really don't care if people agree with me or disagree with me. But if you're an asshole, then I have a problem. Other than that, I don't care if you think I'm right, think I'm wrong on my theories. If it's a fact, then I'll find the source and try to back it up. Like Texas Angel was saying, like I try to give you guys all my sources at all times, so you can see that the information isn't just made up for me. And if it's my theory or my thought, then I tell you it's my theory or my thought.
I agree, Donna. It's about intention. I do agree. Yep. It's about the intention. And the ones that are going with the right intention and the good intentions, I'm for totally.
Mm-hmm. Linda, you're always welcome. You can ask me anything.
Oh, absolutely, Linda. Thank you for even being here.
And I agree with this. As long as no harm is done, I don't see the bad in it. I agree. My concern for them going would only be really for the neighbors and the neighbors' children. That's where I go. That's where you have to be really careful, because what if like these kids that used to play with this little kid don't know what happened? And now you're like forcing
and now they
them,
do.
and now they do. Like that's the kind of stuff I worry about, because we all have little kids. What if like something happened down my street and to one of my kids' friends that they play with, and I hadn't told them and they find out that way? I'd probably be a little pissed, and I might be the one that threw the egg. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It seemed like from the footage I'd seen, one of the cops were telling the protesters not to use like profane language when there were minors around.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because think about it. These kids are possibly still outside playing and in their yards or whatnot. And like T said, they may not know, or not even. This is where these children live. They shouldn't have to hear the most. We heard some of the things that were being said and yelled across that street. Some were being respectful and the others were not. And that is where absolutely, like, you don't come to where my children's peace is, where there's already this horrific thing that had just happened. My children are probably scared too, whether they know or don't know. And if they don't know, now they do. And you are now causing an unsafe environment for them. Like, that's just
right.
And it is such a infuriating situation, like all of us watching it from wherever we are, like the outside in and through the computers, and just checking the updates. Like this little boy, he's just grabbed like a lot of our hearts, and people are mad. People are literally pissed. And it's just unbelievable. Like the report today talking about, stuff I didn't even really even think of. Like the other day they had talked about the search dogs not being able to go through the dump because of hazards, and they could step on a needle or this and that. And I just was like, oh, that would be terrible. Like I'd hate for that to happen to like one of these dogs, and then today they're talking about, well, the safety hazards for people and like the special this and that they always have to do for these types of searches. And it's like, damn, like it just like made me like sit back, like, yeah, like we seen the footage of people like searching, but I guess like I never really thought to think about like that person got up to go to work, and that is that what they have to go and do that day. And it's just despicable that this family has like put this, I mean, I know it's their job, but like it's unfortunate, in the money and the resources for this family who threw this little kid away like it was trash. And it's like, it really is infuriating. Like it's hard to it's hard to look at these protesters and bash them. Like, I understand, like, when they're screaming the stuff out, it's like stuff I'm thinking in my head, you know?
You're muted, babe.
I keep doing that. This game that like Leilani plays, and I don't know if Billy Joe's playing with her or I have no clue, but it makes it that much more why we are so on top of this. Like this game that you're playing as, look, we can't send dogs in because they could get hurt. We do have these sanitary workers or agents that are coming in to have to go through that landfill and all the things that could possibly happen to them. And it's just like they're sitting off partying and like watching from afar as we're just as they're just trying to find this baby. It's like, this is how crazy this has gotten. So to think that people wouldn't be literally losing their minds over this, look what you're making law enforcement do, neighbors, babies. I mean, everybody's looking for this child or now presumed, you know, but it's like it's almost like a game to them, and it's sick. It
is.
It is. It's just, it's sick. It's absolutely sick.
So Chloe said that when her brother was killed by a drunk driver, they put up a memorial right outside a gated house, and the property owners took it down. I would be pissed. Went to pick up the items, and now I'm trying to find the number 2 of this because I want to see what happened, and I haven't seen it come up yet. This is when StreamYard bugs me because it takes forever for the comment to come through. Here we go. The homeowner brought them out and told me his young kid saw the car crash. Oh, God. Oh, they didn't want to.
I feel like I have the weirdest feedback tonight.
I think you have a delay.
I don't know if you guys can even hear me.
I can hear you, but I think you have a delay.
This is odd. Okay, and my Wi-Fi shows it's full stream, so I don't know.
I can hear you fine.
But
it is just like
I was going to say
delay.
Okay. Okay. So did you notice with their new sign where they mentioned no trespassing? They spelled trespassing wrong, which whatever, but they also say you're on camera. And I can't help but wonder, have they always had cameras or did they put them up after Quinton went missing? If they always have cameras, I wonder where they are and what, if anything, they showed from when he went missing.
Was that sucker rolling the whole time? If it was there, I don't think so.
Now I'll wait 20 seconds.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think they had cameras. But Chloe, I want to say, like, that is, and I'm sure you guys at that point were like, hey, you know what, we totally get it, but I mean, what a horrible situation for you guys and for their children. Yeah. Wow. StreamYard's only reliable for 3 people, and then it goes haywire.
We're learning, we are learning.
What I mean, I have pretty good Wi-Fi. My husband likes to have all the Wi-Fi, but I don't think they had cameras. I think that's bull hockey. Do you guys think they had cameras?
So is the sign just to scare people, like you're under surveillance?
That's all opinion because I obviously have no proof, but that's what I think. Hi, Rena. Yeah, I don't have any proof, but I don't think they do. Hold on, now my chat's like skipping all funky.
Yeah.
Does anybody remember that case where the father went on a camping trip in the winter and then blew his house up with his sons inside while the CPS were that case still hurts? Right? That's Susan Powell. Heck yeah.
Yep. Another.
Yeah, I covered that one. I think I did 3 lives on that.
And they're amazing. Amazing.
Thanks.
I think police would have more info if they have cameras.
Right there.
Jesse,
yeah,
that's
that
a good
911 call with the CPS worker was awful.
Did she lose her job?
I don't think she did. The dispatch guy, right? Wasn't it the dispatch guy? He lost his job or he resigned, I think. Kelly Mina.
I would think that she would have lost her job for letting the kids walk up before her.
Possibly. But I think on one of the specials, Kelly might know better than me. I think the dispatch guy came on, gave an interview, and said that either he resigned or lost his job. Can't remember.
Kelly, yeah, I think I almost feel like now he does training or something.
I thought that's what you had covered
Yeah.
too, where he ends up doing like
He was terrible.
Vicious.
yeah, that was awful.
Mm-hmm.
Now he was
That was a rough one.
reprimanded, but
I
remember
We
watching
always
that.
talk about CPS failing these kids, this and that. I mean, that situation, I guess you could say, like you said, Teresa, the kids weren't supposed to go in before the
Mhm.
CPS lady, or no?
Yeah, well, I mean, the kids walked in, and then he closes the door on her. But I don't think she's allowed to do that. I don't think she's allowed to send the kids in. I think she was supposed to walk in before them. But I haven't covered the case. I followed it. So I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But I was thinking that she would have lost her job for letting them go in. I don't
think
even know why he had visitation to begin with.
technically, number one, they should have never had the supervised visits at his home. That was a mess up right there. But it was just like they got out, and she claims the kids just bolted to the door. He was ready with it open, and she said she was literally steps behind them, and he closed it right in her face.
And then
Those
that's
poor
when
boys.
she heard the very first scream from the one boy and then the other, because you can hear when she makes the call,
Yeah.
like she's saying it like she's in that time, like she can hear the scream.
Terrible.
Do you know that Oakley Carlson is the same agency? I didn't know that.
I write, call, and email 3 times a week. Yeah, they are very much the same. Mm-hmm. They don't like me, but it's okay.
And they did. So Heavy D Sparks, they thought they had found her. And even heard Susan Powell's dad came out and thought that they had found her. And that after testing, it came out that it wasn't actually her. I was kind of sad for him because I was like, man, like he was actually ready to get some closure and it wasn't her. But now
Mhm.
Allison said they're using the same maps that they used for Susan Powell. They're using for Dylan Rounds.
Wow.
How crazy is that?
Wow.
It is so crazy. And did we ever find out what type of custody that Billy Joe has on the boys?
So she did. She had like a kinship one where basically Leilani gave her custody.
So like sole, like physical custody
I
was
don't think it
all.
does. I didn't see that in the court documents, and I've still
Okay.
never received the original court documents that I've been looking for,
Mhm.
that where she actually got custody. But in the last ones, it talks about that she was given custody because Leilani was an unrehabilitated drug addict, and it was
Okay.
it's called like a kinship one, or so basically she signed over her rights to her, which is what I thought from the beginning.
Right. Makes
but-
sense, especially with her testing positive at the youngest one's birth.
Right.
I mean,
And then there's
you-
rumor that she tested positive with Zane too, but I haven't proved that yet, or one way or the other. Hi, allegedly. Thank
No,
you
I
for
thought-
coming in.
it was interesting, Zane's father speaking on her mothering and how he never could imagine her kind of like snapping. I thought that was like interesting. What
Mhm.
did you make of that? Like he pretty much was not in any type of like vibe that she'd snap, like whether it was for out of frustration or because she didn't have her fix of drugs. Like it just didn't seem like that was a picture that he was like able to paint, but I don't know.
But
what
he
to make-
also talks about
Good
the
mother.
fact that she tried to unalive herself in front of one of the children. And Trista, thank you for becoming a member.
Right.
And Tia, I adore you coming on Fridays. So thank you for coming over.
We love you, Thea.
Do you have documentation of Leilani's probation? I read earlier that she received 12 months, served 5 months. I actually was reading an article on that today. I saved nothing to my computer, so. Let me see. You guys talk and I'll try to find the article.
What bothers me about
That's an
the whole
interesting comment, Jesse. Sorry. She says, I felt like he was covering his own choice to leave the boy with her by saying good things about Leilani. That's an interesting angle to think about it from.
Yeah. Well, it would make sense because at some point he's going to have to justify if he was to say, I think she was a lunatic, and they're going to be like, well, then why did you leave your kid with her? Why didn't you fight
Right.
harder? Or, not exact
Good
short
point.
custody. You know, like
Exactly.
Did I say that? Leilani's 2021 arrest was for cigarettes, popcorn, and a soda from the truck stop that she worked at. But in North Carolina, apparently, no matter the dollar amount, it's considered a felony. Did you guys know that? I didn't know that until this case.
What
So-
I
shot
learned that in this
is that what
case,
it was?
yeah.
So she worked at a truck stop and she stole food and cigarettes and a drink. And then, so she still has approximately 7 more months of probation. So, because Danny's family's from North Carolina. So they were up there with them. And then she got in trouble.
thank you, Brett.
Okay, fine. You're not thriving.
Taking names. Taking names.
Taking names. Yeah, so it says she has 7 more months of probation. So when she called in September on the September 7th call, when she said she didn't want it to escalate, that makes me wonder, because if she got 12 months probation, we're in October, so it would have been last October. That was in September, so she wouldn't have actually been living with her mom for very long. Not as long as I thought she was, because that means she was up in North Carolina while she was pregnant, right? And then moves down here.
Did anyone else hear about the uncle? There's an uncle speaking out now. I didn't see it, but
Which uncle? Quinton's uncle?
I don't know. It was in Cinema Shogun. He just.
I know Quinton's
Uncle
uncle's in some
out.
Facebook groups,
Oh, okay.
but I don't know about her uncle.
He must
My
have
light
just.
is like terrible. I'm gonna probably turn this off because it's just dark.
Oh, she's gonna leave me, ain't she?
You're so pretty though. Like I think that people are just fine with like looking at you and me not being on there.
I'm like by myself up here.
You're not though. We're all right here. Say hi, gals.
It is sort of like a feeling like you're up on stage, like by yourself.
The worst is on Wednesdays when we do the member lives, and I just like swing on with my cigarette in my hand, and I'm like, it's a whole mess on Wednesday.
Yeah, she was in North Carolina. That's where her charge is from there, from a truck stop she was working at. Let's see. Why did BJ tell the babysitter that she asked her to help? Did babysitter give the kids to Leilani after BJ told her not to? Allison, this is my thought. This is what I think. And I was going to look at this, but once again, I did not have time. So maybe one of my lovely people up here has the memory that I don't. I believe that the babysitter said on one of her first either Facebook Lives or the interview that she did that she couldn't keep the boys because she had to do something with the church and selling something from the church, or the church was closing. Do you guys remember any of this? And then, so she said she wasn't going to be able to pay attention to the boys or give them what they needed while they were there. And then, do you remember that?
Something with Miss Sandy from the church, but I can't remember. Oh, hold on.
See, these are the intricacies CDT and you guys are better at.
It was in the very beginning.
See, I don't remember anything about the church and her not being able to. I do remember.
She's just like, I don't remember anything.
Yeah, nothing. No, but I do remember the babysitter said that it was asked if she would be willing to keep them overnights, and she said she would do that. And then Billy Joe called back a few hours later and said, you know what, actually, I'm going to give Leilani a chance. I lost my kids and I want her to have them. So that's what I remember, that the babysitter had agreed to overnights. Then Billy Joe calls back and says, never mind, I'm giving Leilani the chance.
And that
seems like chat knows what this church event thing is. Somebody, more than one comment saying something about the church and books.
Something about books. It was something about the church was closing and she was going to take care of the books or something. It's either on Ziggy's live or it's one of her first Facebook lives. And I was
okay. I have not watched Ziggy all the way through. So if it's on Ziggy, I didn't watch.
Okay. So I think that she ended up, and this is just putting pieces of what they've said together. So this is not a factual timeline in this conversation. I want to make sure that's very clear. But you have the babysitter who then says that Billy Joe wanted to give Leilani a chance, or she needed to like give her a chance to like be responsible. You remember? And then, so I'm wondering if like that's the same time. So maybe babysitter calls Billy Joe and she's like, hey, I have this church thing I've got to do. And she says, that's fine. Let Leilani take him because she's got to like step it up pretty much.
Yeah,
Okay,
that could all kind of flow together.
It seems
who's
like
the one
Chet
in each
knows what
block?
you're talking about.
Okay, let me see. Here's everybody allegedly. So you've got me, and then you've got the lovely Mia Moore Michelle, and these other lovely ladies down here, you know, CDT and ATS.
Yeah, Seth, Leilani is free.
Yeah, Leilani is free to any waiter in any restaurant.
Yeah. Did
I just say that out loud? Did I say that out loud? Shit. I didn't mean to say that out loud.
You did.
Can't get over
You did.
Billy Joe on her motorcycle.
Well, Billy Joe, I still can't get over her prostitution charge.
I know.
Right?
I mean,
Where did
yeah.
I go?
Just,
How do you go from that to welding?
What? Oh, I missed that one. Okay.
you gotta work with your hands,
She's-
Amber.
Okay.
She does. She knows how to work with her hands. This is so bad. Where did this live go?
It's Friday.
I
At
love
10
when
o'clock.
Kelly
You
says it.
started it with your joke.
I know, it's so bad. Billy Joe's her wingman. Oh my God. So bad.
Oh my goodness.
Billy Joe worked for the union. She was a welder, and so she was a traveling welder.
You're
I mean,
traveling
she's-
welder.
She's a traveling welder. I can't think of anything funny to go with that one. Sorry. Shit. Now I just dropped my mouse.
I'm trying to get back to Jeanette and I can't think.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Hi, Red Eye. Okay, Billy Joe can burn the stick pipes. Yeah, she welds. She's good with pipes, apparently. There you go. There you go. And there it is. And there it is. I didn't think I could come up with one. I got a little support from chat, and there it was.
Boom. The best chat.
She was a welder. Oh, she was, Jesse. You're right. She
Oh
was
my
a
goodness,
welder
yes.
and a dancer.
At the same time?
Yeah, in Flashdance.
Oh, in Flashdance.
Yes, she was a welder and Flashdance and a flash dancer.
And a flash.
Yeah, and a flash dancer.
I can't even think.
I
Oh my
can't even. Oh man, let me see. BJ's husband to show back up at the house tonight. BJ just got job in June as a pipe. Wait, the husband showed back up at the house tonight?
I was wondering where Tommy had been.
We were, Kelly, I swear, just the other day.
Yeah.
We thought Tommy came out. Remember when there was one of the guys yelling at, oh,
At Dolly.
yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
We thought that was
Yeah.
him for a second. I'm like, is that Tommy? With my bad blind eyes.
Right.
So has Tommy been MIA since, like, for days now?
So on the court documents for the custody hearing that happened on Monday, he's not listed as somebody who lived in the house. So then everybody's like, well, where the hell
And
did he go?
I heard Dolly, like, I guess he's back home or whatever. He was doing a live, and he didn't seem to even know who Tommy was. So I don't really feel like he was around. So yeah, maybe he is still working and out of town.
Maybe. And let's say he didn't and he's taking a break from Billy Joe in that life. That's going to say a whole lot too. A whole lot. Tommy has family, I believe.
Exactly.
Yeah, like he has family in South Carolina, and some of them are not connected, but they're friendly with some of Danny Boy's family in right? He's in North Carolina, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
there's something there. I keep trying to find like if there's an actual connection or not, or if they just like know each other from knowing each other. But I noticed that.
Yeah, because I kind of wondered that too, if maybe Tommy doesn't support their antics or the way, you know, they're handling this, because he's the one who came out and said, Leilani lies. I don't know why, but she likes to lie, something like that. So, yeah, I wonder if maybe he's like, I'm out, y'all.
And I don't get
but this
that.
is
Like,
a good point
feeling
Tiffany
from
said
him.
on here. Tiffany said, you know, he also travels for work. Maybe he's just been gone for work.
Yeah.
I didn't even,
Yeah,
how
that
dumb,
could
I
be
didn't even
it.
think of that.
But yeah, Kelly, you're right. He sort of was like the first of the two, like when we're looking at like parental figures, to kind of throw Leilani like kind of under the bus in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Mallory. Thank you for the super chat. Would the punishment be different due to her giving custody away versus being taken in regards to her watching the kids? Well, so the biggest thing would be that she knew that the kids were being left in an unsafe environment. I don't actually think that it's going to have to do with the custody part, because Leilani basically gave custody to her mom. And we don't know all the details about all the different, all what kind of custody. If it was just full custody, if it was just like a guardianship. Somebody up above had said guardianship, but I've never seen that legal paperwork to know exactly what she had. So my thought is that she could be in trouble for leaving them with somebody she knew was harmful to the children, if some form of child neglect, child abandonment, child something along those lines, versus anything to do with the fact that DCFS took custody from Leilani and gave it to Grandma. I don't think that's what happened, so I don't think she'd be in trouble for that. But I think they could definitely find. I mean, you could find charges. You could find charges for anybody you want to.
Yeah, because I'm thinking if they have reason to believe that he's deceased, I mean, something's got to give where it comes to some accountability here. Whether it's, like you said, like child neglect for the grandmother for leaving him with this unsafe, figure who's supposed to be watching him. I don't know. It's like I'm literally at the point where I'm like, if the mother is listed as a suspect, then something must be solid happening behind the scenes.
Like,
you know what I mean? Like, otherwise, will they just charge some sort of like mishandling of this child was put in danger, obviously.
I'm gonna have to find this article so I can actually. So it says like the court docs reveal a sordid family life of missing Tot, uncle in jail for shooting man multiple times and killing him. Okay, so they go through the uncle, which we already know all that. So I want to get down to this part that I was trying to understand. Mother loses custody after drug use. Simon's mother, Howell, was previously granted guardianship of Simon's 3 children. This is an article, not court docs, just FYI. Was previously granted guardianship of Simon's 3 children. The court docs indicated that Simon lost custody due to unrehabilitated drug use. Simon is a chronic, unrehabilitated substance abuser of cocaine and cannabis, the court document said. Simon allegedly admitted that she used cocaine. That's probably not the right word I'm supposed to use, but whatever. She also reportedly tested positive for cocaine used during the birth of one of her children. Subsequently, Howell was given custody of Simon's children, including Quinton, and his 3-year-old brother. And this article says the 6-month-old girl. That's why I'm like, this is what I was trying to figure out about this article. Then it says, I think I have a little person that's coming. Hold on. Says that Howell filed an eviction notice against Simon and a male identified as Simon's boyfriend, Daniel Youngkin, on September 8th. Both parties reportedly lived with Howell in her Savannah home. It's the same home that Quinton disappeared from months earlier. On March 10th, the state of Georgia and the Department of Human Services, in the interest of Quinton and another minor child, filed a motion to enforce child support against Simon. So that was another big question that people were asking. Did Billy Joe file for child support or did the state? So this says that the state of Georgia and the Department of Human Services, in the interest of both children, filed a motion to enforce child support against Simon. Now, why are they saying that she had custody of the 6-month-old daughter, but then nobody filed? I guess they wouldn't have filed child support in March because the baby wasn't born until June, July, right? So on October 12th, guardianship was taken away from Howell with the document stating that she failed to provide adequate supervision after she left Quinton and his brother in Simon's care. It was during this time that Quinton disappeared. The documents added that Howell knew or should have known that Leilani Simon was unfit to provide proper care while the maternal grandmother traveled out of state. Meanwhile, the police chief said Tuesday that the police believe Quinton is deceased and in a nearby landfill. She's the prime suspect. Yada, yada, yada. So what do you guys think of that?
I mean, I agree.
Yeah, agree.
Yeah, Michelle's face. I agree with that.
My words.
I just think it's frustrating that, as of June of this year, a baby is born to a mother who admitted to, cocaine use, and it was in the system, and it's like they go home with her. It's just frustrating.
I'm going to put this link in. Okay, I was like, I'm not muted, right? I'm going to put this link in the chat so you guys can have it. Let me get in here real quick.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like they found cannabis in her system, and with the fentanyl problems in all across the world, I mean, it's not even just the US, it's way too risky to have these children around that,
Exactly.
She couldn't even quit it for her pregnancy. And yet, that's why I wonder, just from having like a 20-month-old, I mean, she's climbing, and I just wonder, but then everyone speculates about possible blood found. But again, that's just speculation. We really don't have like anything solid there, but they're claiming enough evidence to name her a suspect and blah, blah, blah. So it's like, what do they have?
Yeah, and what evidence?
Grabbed? Yeah.
What evidence do they have that they are so confident to come out and state they believe he's deceased? Like, I understand statistics and everything like that, but like you're saying, Amber, they've stated a lot, like enough to believe he's deceased, enough to name Leilani as the sole suspect, and enough to believe he was placed into a specific dumpster and then at this specific landfill. But yet not enough for an arrest. And then obviously they have not found any of his remains yet. So I know I'm personally getting very concerned with the situation.
Like, think of when they were at the house and what it looked like they were collecting. So I was trying to like base it off of that, like just from the very little that we were able to see, like what could have been there that they got and that they were able to bring back, process, do whatever they do, and then say, okay, we have enough, but can't charge her. It's what?
Exactly.
Would that be like a forensic type thing? Help me out, guys. Like, what would, like, is that a rumor that they found blood or?
Yeah, I mean, they haven't confirmed they found blood. I think a lot of people assumed because
they made that one statement saying that they had evidence from the house that would lead them to a conclusion or something. And then it was the day after they blacked out the windows. So people speculated luminol, but it was also the day after they drained the pool and stuff. And they had like some search warrant for the pool.
Right. That's right.
Amber, do you remember if that article actually said that the evidence was from the house, or did they just say the evidence was gained and that was going to point them in the right direction? Do you remember?
I was talking about this earlier. Remember, T, we were trying to figure out if they collected anything that day from the trailer, that other trailer, right?
So the same day they blacked out the windows and they were draining the pool and all of that is the same day that they were in the trailer park looking at stuff. And that's from the locals that were there, which is where the dumpsters thing came from before they even said dumpster. Because the locals said that this was the trailer park and they did like a drive-through of that trailer park, and it's that trailer park.
I can't remember if it specifically stated from the house. I don't think it did. I think it just said evidence found or something.
My thought is
I
if they
was
go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say about the blood. I just feel like, I always go back to Gannon Stout and his case, Letitia, how they stated that, after searching the home using luminol, etc., they found enough blood that they determined there is no way anyone could lose that much blood and still be living. So therefore, they did arrest her before they found Gannon. I'm just wondering in this case if there really was enough blood, and that's what they're basing it off of, that Quinton's no longer alive, that they found that much blood. I don't know. I'd have to think about the timeline and why she hasn't been arrested yet.
That was exactly my thought. If they had found the abundance of blood, then why they would know that there was some form of premeditation or violent crime, violent acts that they would have placed her in cuffs. My thought is that they didn't find that, and that the evidence they're using is the surveillance, or maybe something else that was found, but I think it's the surveillance. And that's why they can't arrest her, because they don't know which murder to charge her with, which statute. And if they charge her with the wrong one,
and
the defense is going to use that.
Yeah, in court. I mean, I'm sorry, but without his remains, it's going to be very hard to present just Leilani at the dumpster as her disposing of Quinton if they don't find any I can't think of the word, evidence like his remains, whatever the word is, evidence of Quinton being in that dumpster or in the landfill, because she can claim she went over there to throw away a pizza box or clothes that had holes, it's going to be hard to prove that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think it's going to be I'm very curious to what they see her throwing away. But that's like the big thing today is like people are like, what if this is all just a ruse? What if he's not actually in this landfill? And then ATS sent me an article earlier where they requested $250,000 to assist with this search. That's a lot of funding for a tiny little police department.
And did they ever take the dumpster? We need clarification on if a dumpster was wheeled out of there.
Right. Like, this is an absolute game to them. They're out partying and whatnot. Like, at minimum, have them stand there while all this is going on.
Yes.
And
their statement today, the Chatham County's statement mentions, the people who are searching, like you were saying earlier, Amber, I understand, like that's their job. They chose to do that, whatever, but they are facing real health risks by doing this. And like you're saying, that they just get to go out and stay at a hotel on the beach and party and take shots, and meanwhile they're risking their health to look for their baby.
They're watching everybody, between law enforcement, the community, some family members. I mean, they just want to know where Quinton is, so that at this point, because we now know that he's not alive to save his life, to at least let this baby have some type of, I mean, my God, and you're sitting over there, you're partying, and you're watching. They now need tons of money to fund this. There are people's lives literally being put in risk just because of their occupation. And think of just all the mental there. They're getting up every day to know that they're going to look for a baby, and its remains somewhere in all, like, it's just, and they're just sitting out watching all of it, partying. Like,
yeah.
You guys in chat, you guys are making so many good points. I just keep skipping all over because I'm like, yep, that's a good point. If you guys could see me, I'm like nod my head. I'm like, yep, that's a good point. In the general idea is that she, it's going to be really hard to find him if they can find anything. If they do find anything, will they find something that they would be able to actually do an autopsy on?
I don't think so at this
So
point.
makes me sick.
And I always want to have hope, but y'all, I mean, it's been 16 days. They didn't start searching that, area of the landfill until what, Tuesday? Monday or
Right.
Tuesday?
Tuesday.
This is like the
I mean,
first case
I mean,
in
that's
this.
not looking good.
Not at all. Not
And
at all.
just think, I mean, not to get graphic or anything, but I think we can all figure out what ends up happening to landfills and all that and decomp. If the body's intact, decomp in 16 days is rough, but we're not talking about something intact. So,
Right. Oh, goodness.
See, I think that this is my concern, and I think one of the reasons that they haven't charged her is because they're holding out hope that they will have something to be able to go with and do the right charge. Hi, Barb. I think that they don't know. They don't know what happened. That's why I don't think there's blood evidence in the house. Because so somebody up above said,
That
I see you guys are it's flying. So crazy crime chick. That's a good point. Even though I am skeptical that Heidi Plank is even in a landfill, but that's a whole nother life. Because she had some other shady stuff happening in her life that I'm not really sure that she didn't take off. But let me see. The thing about the brother, here it is. Did you guys hear this about the older brother? Is it the older brother? No, I don't want to say the wrong thing, but supposedly the older brother had access to the security system on his phone, and he has where the doors were open from 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. This I have not seen this. I have heard it, but I
I
have not
heard that.
seen it.
Yeah. But I haven't seen a statement.
Does anybody know where that's actually
same. I
at or where
haven't.
that came from?
And I mean, I know when I mentioned the camera, a lot of people say they doubt they had cameras. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, traveling welders, they're making pretty good money. We know Danny at least worked. Leilani may have worked. Who knows what, how much, but I don't know. I mean, I don't necessarily think they were spending their money on their kids, but their home and, Billy Joe might have wanted cameras, whatever. I wouldn't shock
True.
me if they did have that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There was another really good point, and I lost
I don't know
it.
if they actually have it or not, but to see it in that way, absolutely. Absolutely. You're right. They're traveling. They're both gone when you think about it. And just to maybe check up on the house, could definitely happen.
But yeah, I would love to know for sure. And eventually it'll come out. And we looked up the home. They bought the home. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it was on the lower end, especially for what it would go for now. I'll look it up again, but it was interesting because it is a nice home. I mean, it's spacious, has a pool, an outbuilding, a carport,
Yeah, it's a nice house. Texas Angel said they have 2 RVs. Let me see. If there hasn't been an arrest means there's no motive, no victim, no crime scene, really only conclusion. That's my thought too. I think they know there's a crime, but they can't put the story together. And as soon as she's arrested, the court's clock starts ticking. They have to start presenting information to the judge, to the court, saying this is what she did and this is how she did it, or it's not going to stick. Nothing's going to stick then. And if it doesn't stick, then what's going to happen? They try to take her back in, and the defense attorneys are going to be like, yeah, these guys don't have a clue what they're doing because look what they already said she did. Obviously, she didn't do that. We can prove it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't think they don't want to take that chance.
I mean, look at C-Dub's comment. Surveillance alone
I'm so far behind.
would
Sorry,
be an
guys.
unpredictable jury result. So maybe they're waiting to have more concrete evidence before starting the ticking clock. And
Exactly.
it's like, even if I'm thinking like maybe they even have statements by them that aren't adding up, you know what I mean? Or cell phone stuff that's not adding up. Like they need something more. Like it's not enough to have a statement that's contradicted or a ping here and there. Like they literally are probably praying that they find anything at that junkyard.
Yeah.
Landfill. I hate even saying it. It's literally the dump.
Okay, wait. Southbound Train says the brother in the house that morning was seen driving slow at 9 a.m. Okay, so I don't know anything about the brother driving slow. The babysitter said that Danny was driving slow by the house at 8:20. So if there's another story about a brother driving by slow, I want to know where that came from, because I haven't heard that one. And then somebody said that supposedly, I think it was Allison, said that supposedly she was caught with a blanket on the surveillance.
Oh. Okay.
If you think it's just, is it just a blanket? Because I mean, that's going to cause some other issues there too. Yeah, there's a possibility. I think that there is a possibility. Yes.
I agree, Karen.
Yep.
I think they know it too.
Yep. That's the scary part in all of this.
And I would like to know if there is any contact between Billy Joe and Leilani between the hours from when Leilani got the babies back from the babysitter until the babysitter was called off at 5:30 a.m., 5:29 a.m. in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to know if Leilani called her mom.
We were talking about that. Remember thinking like,
yeah,
Billy Joe's role in this was not what we originally thought, that this was just grandma who had to work and she just wanted to provide. Like she said, we weren't all the way sure about custody yet and how that went down. And then I'm like, to see how they, like prior to them even taking the shots and going out, just their whole relationship. And I feel like even the way she was with her son, someone had put it in chat, in a sense, when you think about it, she raised two murderers in a sense. And it's the way she goes about handling it when these things have happened. And it's so like, are you apart? I don't want to think that at all. Like, because you kind of you kind of raised your hand to take custody in a sense. Like that actually really pisses me off, because if you knew you couldn't take care of these babies, or you could not be those set of eyes, I know you don't want them going into the system, but my God, it sure beats this,
Yeah.
I know, I'm the same way. Like, I feel like a lot of people were like, well, what role is Billy Joe playing? But then after seeing her like out and stuff with her, I'm like, I just don't even know anymore. Like you said, like, was she starting, like, even when she attacked the babysitter on that video, I was sort of looking at her kind of like, is she just trying to distract things away from them?
Yep.
Like, not saying that she helped a crime besides maybe after the fact, you know what I mean? Like helping her daughter maybe cover something, or maybe being an alibi, or filling in a time slot for her daughter or something, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying that she harmed the child, but I just was wondering that whole like outburst, was she sort of
knew eyes? Oh, she knew eyes were on her. She knew that was being filmed. That's why I personally feel that was her production, I feel like, to the babysitter, because the babysitter was starting to get a lot of love and was just starting to see it for exactly what it is. And Billy Joe's whole way was unraveling along with her family and what she was trying to put out there. And I think she was so mad at that babysitter just for that alone. Like, I personally feel the babysitter was the only one who cared in a sense, like she.
I do. I don't have any issues with the babysitter, except for I can tell you that if this was my family, I would be pissed that her immediate reaction was to start going on news and social media and doing interviews, and like, my baby's missing. Like, I would be mad at her. So I don't think that once again, this is going to go back to the very beginning of this live, where I do not believe the babysitter is malicious. And that is where I don't hold anything against her, because I don't think she's malicious. I don't actually think she's doing it for attention. I think she's doing it because she wants to talk about Quinton and she wants to talk about everything. And her family's probably like, we're not doing this with you all the time. You know what I mean? And then she's got this whole community of people who are like, we'll do it with you all the time.
Right.
So I don't think it's like for attention, or she wants to be like caught up in the middle of it. I don't think she's malicious, but I can tell you, if I was anybody in that family and my baby did go missing and was just actually missing, I'd be like, what the F are you doing? Be quiet.
Yeah. If anyone's interested, the house sold on December 3rd, 2020 for $219,900.
How much?
$219,900.
Gosh.
It's
I
cheap.
really need to get out of Southern California. This is ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, now the Zestimate is let's see. I'm getting tired. 369,800 is the Zestimate now.
That's still
But yeah,
so
the
much better than
babysitter,
Southern
I
California.
agree. And I think that's again oh yeah, I'm sure. One thing that kind of I feel like in some of these cases that kind of take off, it's because we do have these other players who come into it and speak out. And Leilani hasn't really spoken much. Billy Joe hasn't spoken much. But the babysitter, there was a lot to kind of sift through with what she said. And it gave us like an insight into what we weren't hearing from the family.
Agree. Totally agree.
Yeah, as a true crime person, I love Babysitter.
Yeah.
Babysitter. I got
Same,
all babysitters,
yeah. That is
lives
smart.
up on my channel because I'm like, keep telling me stuff, and
Yeah.
I'll go through it again and again, even if you delete it. I got it right here. So yeah, as a true crimer, I love Babysitter, but as a person who's involved in the case, I could say, yeah, I totally would do that. I totally would be mad at the babysitter and just be like, you need to shut the F up and let me deal with my baby being missing. And I think the whole thing about the memorial versus the prayer vigil, I think was just an absolute miscommunication. And I know people even who follow true crime who say the wrong thing and call it the opposite when that's not what it is. And I'm assuming that there's probably just some poor miscommunication there that she didn't mean to have a memorial, and maybe Billy Joe heard she was having a memorial, and then that she knows that's what my baby's not dead, and I just think that was heated. But I think she blamed Babysitter for this happening. Like she was pissed at her.
She was big mad about
Yeah.
that.
And I go back and forth. I don't know. I do think Billy Joe may have some guilt within her. At least I thought so now that she's out partying and, flirting, giving her number away allegedly. I'm like, I don't know. But I bet she's kind of pissed that, the babysitter is airing out their dirty laundry, if you will.
Yeah.
Like she's putting it all out there.
Yep.
Do we know who Lala's dad is? Who Leilani's? I know who Leilani's dad, but he hasn't posted crap about crap, which is ironic.
No.
I know who he is,
nothing.
but
I've seen a
there's
picture
nothing.
of him.
And then you have her. So she has half siblings kind of all over the place. With half siblings with her dad and half siblings with her mom. And so one of the other brothers that's on the mom's side is the one that's, I believe, can somebody correct me if I'm wrong, is the one saying he had access to the ADT, or was it Paul, the one that lived in the house? Because I think it's the older brother who didn't live there supposedly had access to this ADT, and his dad and his dad's girlfriend live fairly close, and the dad's girlfriend is like all over Facebook talking all kinds of mad shit about Leilani. I'm like, everybody's all up in it.
So can you hear me?
I feel like Grandma begged the babysitter to please keep an eye on the kids while she was out of town. Maybe the babysitter said, I'll try. And then Grandma came home and said, I begged you to help me. That's kind of how I feel. Like she thought the babysitter was, and she keeps talking like I was trying to provide, and like I was providing for all of us. I even provided for you guys. Like I was away to work and you were supposed to be here to like take care of stuff. That's a lot of responsibility to put on Diana, Michelle, whatever you want to call her, because she goes by both. So it's a lot of pressure to put on this woman. She doesn't have custody of any of these kids. How's she supposed to go down and just take them?
Right.
She can't. Then she'd be kidnapping.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's what she said. She's like, I can't just keep them against their will,
Yeah, this is what I think. So ultimately, the babysitter let down Grandma by not taking the children like she was planned to. Yeah, that's what I think. So you're kind of touching on this. I gave a lot of grace to Billy Joe. I really tried. I tried to see everything from this grandmother who, really screwed up her life. She'd lost custody of her kids, and but she was trying to get her shit together, and so her life was on track, and she didn't want her daughter to follow in her same footsteps, and was trying to help her the best she could. She even took the guardianship of the other 2 kids to, let her find her way in life. And I gave her a lot of grace. And I'm telling this whole partying thing is really pissed me off.
Yep. Sorry, I can't. That changed the entire everything. But it was put on for all of us to see. That is just complete. It's blatant now what it is. I'm sorry. Like, and even with if Billy Joe is, getting her daughter drunk, hoping she will talk and all that good stuff, I would love to believe that, but it's just starting to just be as clear as it is. And
well, somebody did say, what if she is working with law enforcement to get her daughter to confess?
Because
okay, so that's another comment that had been said earlier was people think she confessed. I do not think she confessed. Do you guys think she confessed? Is that the general consensus that you're getting?
Meaning she confessed to mom, or
she confessed to mom? She confessed to anybody. I don't believe she confessed to anybody.
I don't think so either. I don't think she confessed to no.
I don't know. I mean, if she didn't, then where did that come from with Billy Joe sending that to that, Darkness Exposed creator? Like, where did that come from? And I don't necessarily think Leilani gave this whole confession to her mom, but somewhere in Billy Joe's mind, she came up with that message and said
it was thought and said. Like, when I read that text, it almost sounded like when Billy Joe gave the interview, and you see how she says, but she's good, but sometimes, she's really bad. I can't trust her. No, I can't trust her. That text sounded just like that to me. Like,
yeah.
So that was like something that she already knew. You know what I mean? That's why I keep going back kind of to like, yes, I know Billy Joe was working, but I still feel like that there was some type of conversation where even Leilani might have reached out to her mom, like, I'm losing it. You better get home. Somebody better take these kids. Somebody, like, and Billy Joe had some type of inclination that her daughter was not in her right state of parenting mind. Like, I can't help but to think that, and that law enforcement got a hold of that communication. And that's maybe where they developed part of their theory too. Because why would Billy Joe just send this text to this YouTube creator out of nowhere? Like, in a sense, of all the people that are reaching out to her, how did he get it just like that? Like.
Well, I think so if you look at the Facebook post by Chatham County says, we informed the family that we believe that Quinton is no longer here, like that he is deceased, and that, and then they come out with the press conference that they're going to search the landfill. So they're telling Billy Joe that they think he's deceased and that this is, they have enough evidence to believe that he's deceased and that he is in this landfill. She takes that information, or they take that information, and they try to talk to Leilani about it. She's like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. I don't remember any of that. And then,
okay, I'm pretty sure Billy Joe, that message came out on like a Wednesday night, and then it was the next day that law enforcement said, we believe he's deceased. Like, the first landfill and he's gone or whatever, my daughter done it, doesn't remember. That came out all before law enforcement ever mentioned a landfill or that he was believed to be deceased.
Well, so that came out, and that night Chatham County made the post on Facebook.
Okay.
Because everybody started contacting them, and they said, "Here, I'll find it real quick so I can read exactly."
Yeah, I thought because I'm interested in that timeline. Because I thought that came out Wednesday, and then it was like Thursday is when they did the presser and they made the statement, we believe he's deceased, we've informed the family.
That's exactly what I thought too.
But yeah, that's interesting to go back and look at.
Yeah.
Okay, so at 7:38 p.m. on October 12th, we are saddened to report that the CCPD and the FBI have notified Quinton Simon's family that we believe he is deceased. We have named his mother, Leilani Simon, as the prime suspect in his disappearance and death. However, no arrests have been made and no charges have been filed. And the only reason I know it's the same night is because Brittany was live. She was live streaming, and she was trying to find information to like verify, because remember, Darkness Exposed, I basically got the message on a live stream. And I was like, not that I don't believe Darkness Exposed, but like, holy crap, like this, we need some more validation. So Brittany was live, and I was like searching going through, like trying to find everything. And then they posted this on Twitter and on Facebook. And they said that they will hold a media briefing tomorrow, time to be determined, to give more details and answer questions. We will not be making any further statements or answering questions until that time. So that night, because everything went crazy.
Yes.
And Kelly must have went to bed early that night.
No, I was actually live
time,
that
so.
night. Yeah, I was live that night actually because I was going live in the evenings because my kids were out of school. But anyway, yeah, and I stumbled on it towards the end, and I was like, I'm backing away from this.
I remember you pulled it up on Twitter and you're like, this is interesting. And then you're like, I'm not sure, or something along the lines of wanting to validate it. And, but yeah, I remember seeing that, and it was at nighttime. So, but that's concerning if that text message is the only thing that's leading them to the dump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so I don't think it's the message. I think they delivered that information to Billy Joe. And when Leilani was confronted, she's like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. And so now Billy Joe takes the information, sends it to Darkness Exposed, and she's like, oh my gosh, he's dead. Leilani did it and doesn't remember anything.
I see. So like tactic, they seen the CCTV footage, possibly presented it to Leilani, and then it escalated to a text message like that.
Okay.
That's what I think, yes. And then everybody contacts them, so they come out and say, we have notified the family that this is what we believe. And then everything kind of snowballs from there, which is, like I said, I'm still feeling kind of bad for Billy Joe at this point.
Yeah.
That makes more sense then. Because I missed, thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah.
Night, Dolly Bear, thank you for coming and hanging out with us. And look who joined us. Amanda Zabita.
Oh, there she goes.
Hey, Amanda.
Thank you for dropping their links, you guys. I appreciate it. Let me see. Yeah, where Summer says, yeah, great decision you made there. The grand monster.
Right. Yeah, and it's like I have obviously, I don't know. I feel like maybe I am too harsh on Billy Joe, but I just am so angry, and I feel like there needs to be some sort of level of accountability, and on some level it does fall on her.
Yes, I totally agree. There has to be accountability there, especially, now you have custody of those children. You outright said that your daughter is not trustworthy. Your daughter tested positive for cocaine and whatnot with her very last child. There is zero reason in this world. And I understand she has to provide. I completely do. That was my biggest argument in the beginning when I was defending Billy Joe. But then things changed. And yes.
And
Billy Joe needs to be accountable.
Not even a month before Quinton disappears, if we're even going to use the word disappears, because, I mean, yes, he's gone, but I think they know where he is. Anyway, the police were called, September 7th, and Leilani's brother tells them, like, hey, she has an issue with stealing money and using it to buy drugs. But yet there's 3 babies in that house, and grandma, who has this custody agreement, whatever it may be, is a traveling welder. Yeah. And there's Leilani.
Exactly.
Yeah, so Leilani, from one of the babysitter's lives, she had barely started working. So I can't imagine, like, who's been paying for all that? I guess she's stealing the stuff to make it to pay for it. Then I'm thinking, like, how do you and your husband go out of town and even leave Leilani alone in your house? So she's just gonna steal all your shit.
Alone in your home like that, doing God knows what in the home to your home. And then if you can't trust them in the home, how in the world are you trusting them with the children that you have custody of?
Yeah, and they're young children. Yes. Every single one of them. Like, you cannot take your eyes off any of them for longer than 3 minutes, not even.
Yep. This is just too tragic, and just this should have never, ever, ever, ever happened. And this frigging game that she, whatever, is playing, watching law enforcement run around like kooks, like, just to find this baby is just, sorry, it's disgusting. It's just, I cannot let that go. That is just evil.
So did you guys see the older brother Joe's post? Because he's in Facebook groups now too. Did you guys see that? Did I send that to you guys?
I haven't seen it.
I'm gonna send it to you, and I'll read it too. So First, let me give you that one, and then so he makes a post, or he replies to a comment, I should say. It says the media has twisted this to call what they did a party scene, or even a vacation spot.
Oh boy.
Right, I know. And here's my dramatic reading of it too, by the way.
I love it.
Let me start off by saying I don't side with my sister at all. She's on her own in this mess, but she's not. This is where it gets a little tricky because she's not alone. Now, my mother needs some peace and quiet around her house. The amount of quote unquote protesters that surrounds her house day in and day out is uncalled for. See, then saying stuff like this makes me want to go back and then I support freaking Bullhorn Betty and Dolly being there because like she deserves peace and doesn't. Okay,
she deserves nothing. She did none of them at this point deserve nothing. Quinton is not found. Quinton deserved love and don't even.
Yeah, like where's the? This is what irritates me about the whole post is that they don't talk about. He doesn't talk about Quinton. So surrounds her house day in and day out is uncalled for. We want answers. My mom wants answers. Sadly, the FBI won't let my family help search for my nephew. So right now, all we can do is sit and wait and pray. Okay? All we can do is sit and wait and pray. We can't go out to a bar, have tequila shots, flirt with the waiters,
right,
and have oysters and crab or whatever the hell they were having.
Oh, that was nice.
So he doesn't sit. All we can do is sit and wait and pray they recover him so we can serve justice to him. He deserves it, and my mother is on board for that as well. Sorry she had dinner on Tybee with two of her friends that drug her out of the house to get her some peace, as if the stress alone isn't killing her already. I know my mother better than anyone on the planet, and I mean anyone. She's a loving and caring woman with a beautiful heart, and when it's time, I'll let the world know that. You just did.
Yeah, well, she forgot the care when Quinton.
Yeah, when is it going to be time?
Yeah.
I have so many issues with this.
Stepping up for everyone else but Quinton.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's saying like, I'm not on board with my sister and this, that, and the other. And I was saying earlier today, I was like, I would even go as far as to say I could get it if Billy Joe's friends were like, you can't be like locked in that house. This is nuts. Why is she there? Because I've thought maybe the cops are making her stay there because then she becomes less of a flight risk if she's, right there. And so she can't kick her out kind of thing. But I'm like, okay, so I can even see like your friends are coming and they're like, you got to get out of this house. You cannot just sit here, especially after a day like this where, all the emotions are there. They're searching the landfill. They've had this press conference, like everything's crazy. Just come out, have a drink, let's, come out with us. I would see that. Why the hell did they take Leilani? And why does this friend have a baby around her?
Not even that. You should want to be around in case Quinton is found. Flat out. You should not. I don't care if your friends come, if the Pope comes and says, no, you need to go. And no.
Now you're drunk at a hotel 20 miles away.
Right. And you're flirting with your server, bartender, whatever. Like, how do you even have these feelings and these great endorphins that are just setting off left and right when they don't even know where, or we don't know where this baby is. It's just, Quinton's missing.
She's probably so desperate for a substance to hide whatever, you know what I mean? And she can't do her other substance. I mean, how is she even drinking on probation?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I mean, there's, 2 other babies in the mix as well that I would be missing my kids, but I mean that she's not a good normal, if you will. I know people don't like that word normal. There is no normal, but it's just awful. But guys, I do need to get going.
Oh no, I know you do.
I know.
You do. We all do. We were going to talk about Debbie tonight too. Can we do another live like on one of your channels about Debbie? Because I really want to talk about that. I'll change the thumbnail because we're not talking about Debbie. But I get so wrapped up in this case, you guys. It's like an emotional roller coaster for me. Amanda says, I'm in the minority, but I am not against grandma. Her daughter is a shit mom, and she has to take on being a mom all over again with a shit daughter in that way. I don't disagree, except for this. And that's why I gave her grace, because I thought she was a shit mom. She changed it around, was trying to make it so her daughter wasn't a shit mom. giving her every resource to not be a shit mom. I was like, let's cut Billy Joe some slack. So the only way she's getting any more slack from me is if she's wearing a flipping wire the whole time. I'm just gonna say that.
That's my hope.
And that's the thing, is we're not looking at a dynamic of a grandmother and her daughter and a grandson. You know, we're looking at this grandmother had custody of the grandson. You know what I mean? It's
took
just
the
a different
responsibility.
type of. But either way, I really appreciate everyone in chat being here and talking and helping us work some of these kinks out that we discussed. And I appreciate everything you guys are doing over on this channel. And we'll definitely do a Debbie Collier live stream, because that case in itself is a whole Rubik's Cube.
I know.
That's a whole live by itself.
I know.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I really thought they'd have an arrest already on that case. I'm telling you.
Yeah. There's a lot of little splits and wiggles and turns. That would be a really good live to do together.
Somebody asked if Grandpa split. Parker asked if Grandpa split. So we thought that he might have, but then somebody in chat made a really good point that he obviously travels for work. Maybe he was actually traveling for work because somebody still needs to work around that place. So maybe that's what he was doing. And then somebody else said that he actually came back home tonight, and Betty was out front and like was yelling at him about like, hey, are you okay with your wife like flirting with other men kind of thing. I haven't seen that yet. That's what was said in chat. But I think it's kind of funny because I'm wondering if Leilani was actually the one trying to call him. Don't they have Leilani's phone? So maybe it's Leilani that's actually flirting.
Oh, good point. Billy Joe's like, here, girl. How much?
Yeah. Baby number 4.
Yeah, really. Good Lord.
I love you ladies. I really can't express to you guys how much I'm thankful that you guys are my friends and in my life, because I think that you're amazing women, amazing moms, beautiful.
Thank you. The feelings are mutual. Thank you so much for having us on.
We love you
We'll
guys.
be talking soon. Don't worry. Probably right after this.
For sure.
I'll be in chat like, all right, here's some more stuff that I found. Quinton's dad's Facebook only had 2 pics of Quinton. It was barely a clip. I know. I know. It doesn't even seem like he wanted to have anything to do with his own kid, but it's pretty sad. All right, we'll talk. We'll do another panel at a different time about Debbie, because there's definitely stuff to talk about there. Everybody,
can I say that it is really sad, because in some way sort of falls on the father too, in some way.
For sure.
In my opinion.
For sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It takes 2.
Exactly. Happy birthday, Mallory. Sorry.
Mallory, it's your birthday. Hey.
Guys, go check out
birthday to you.
ATS News and CDT's channels. The links have been dropped all throughout chat. They've done amazing.
It'll also be in the description. I'll add it there.
Yeah, on Debbie Collier, on Quinton, on tons of other cases too. If you are a huge Watts fan, go back over. You will, promise, will not disappoint. Amber has a crazy Kurt Cobain whole series live thing that she had, which you did 3, I believe, and they're great. I'm working on my 3rd one now.
I'm with the lady right now that's talking. I hate the delay, because I'm like, okay, is she with somebody like in person, or are they with like you agree with somebody with someone would sit on
It's
panel?
me, guys.
Who's the lady on the bottom right
now?
It's Kelly.
Awesome. No, but
That would be Amber.
That's Amber.
Lady in the bottom
just
right.
hit the like. Just hit the like button.
There,
for
Amber,
us
there
right
she
now.
is.
That's all we ask.
If you guys could, hit the like
All right.
button.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kelly.
Bye,
Kelly, I love
guys.
you.
Love you.
Bye.
and
Bye,
then-
chat.
Good night, you
Bye.
guys. Good night.
night.
Thank you.
We love
And you guys in chat, like I will tell you, and there was so many of you here before we even started, and I know that's because Kelly and Amber were here, because they're amazing, and you guys, everybody they're like, oh, they're gone.
Everybody loves them.
I know they're like, we're leaving. We're going to find out what they're doing. No, but for real, I really appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys listening to just us talk about things and work through things and try to put pieces together. And and I tell you every time that you guys have 1,000 other places that you could spend your time, and you guys purposely choose to spend it here with us, and there's no way to show you the gratification that I have for you guys being here, but to say thank you. And we do our best to make sure that we're here for you equally. C-Dub. Oh, thank you. But I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys. The input, chat was amazing. You guys had great thoughts and great input. And I know there was so many good comments that I missed, and I'm so sorry. And chat was going by pretty quickly. But I know you guys are. You guys all feel You guys all feel this case like I do, and Michelle does.
And thank
And
you for
he's such a
being
little
kind and so respectful in chat and just letting chat do its thing. You guys were awesome. Thank you for all your great insight and filling in the gaps that we had. Like we honestly have the best chat on a Friday night, and we just hang out and have a ton of fun. T, I love you. You're amazing. T's heart in Quinton's case has just been like, she'll make me cry, but.
Oh, don't do that.
Stop. I do.
Don't do that.
I know. She really
I
has.
want to
She's
live
been
here
on Quinton from
forever.
the beginning, and it really has. Like, she's sticking to this one, and I love you for that. I do.
Yeah, I can't let it go. I gotta know where that baby is. ATS News, I'm with you. Okay. See, it was ATS they were with.
Yep, bottom right.
That sounds like, are you physically with somebody? Like, I don't know, we need some clarification. But good night, you guys. Go enjoy your weekend. Be beautiful and do all the fun things. Don't stay on YouTube forever.
No. Go have some fun.
Yeah, have some fun. Good
night, everybody. We love you. Thank you.